Hello everybody and welcome back to Two Mates and a Mic for another podcast. Now it's been a very busy few weeks I think for actually us two. The last time we filmed the podcast was a couple of Fridays ago now, but we had a few technical issues, mainly my phone being hopeless. So we had to delay the podcast coming out, but we're eventually there. Since then, we've released Mates on the Move as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Toby, how you been, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Enjoying things as they go. As you know, working, more work. I've started going to Bros again, to doing a bit of musical theatre again.
Oh yes, how's that going?
Yeah, it's really good. So we've put together like a show team that are going to do performances at events that are coming up. So yeah, we rehearsed a couple of numbers last night and it was really good. It was really nice to get back to it and get back to sort of like the musical theatre side of things.
Yeah, I think you got the bug back when talking about the stag do, like when we did the karaoke. I think you started going, "Oh, there's a bug there. There's a bug."
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those where where you've got an itch that you just need to scratch, and that's I think one of the things that is definitely an itch that is there. It's a good one as well though. But yeah, doing that. But just same old over here.
Do you feel like you've recovered from the stag do now?
Well, I did, and then I went out on Saturday and then unrecovered all of the recovering that I've done. Plus some more, but we'll leave that there because those that know, those that don't. And it's all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Oh dear. But yeah, how's your week been?
Yeah, mate, it's been... I'm finally on a week off. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes. He's made it. Do you know what? It's been... Because the last time we did the podcast was... So we'd done the theatres that we'd done. And then we've had a week of just being at Butlins again. And then we did a theatre in Runcorn. I've been on the Mates on the Move that Toby sent me to do. I really enjoyed that, mate. It was class, mate. So obviously being up in Liverpool for the weekend was interesting, and going to Preston, and took on some of the challenges that he sent me, and I think I smashed out. Have you watched the video?
Do you know what? I still haven't watched it all.
Oh, Toby, man!
I'm about 3/4 of the way. I'm not going to sit here and lie, am I? I'm not going to be like, yeah, I've watched it all, because I'm on the last quarter of it. But
what challenges have you not seen me do yet? Which ones?
So I've seen you do the Wallace and Gromit one.
Yeah.
I've seen you do. You've done the. You're in the pub. You're in watching football.
Yeah, the Chelsea game. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, let's skim over that. And then you're just about to start whatever challenge you did after that, but I hadn't quite got to
the
it
football
yet.
one. Mate, that football one, I can't believe when you did that. That's a challenge, man. One in every location is hard. It's hardcore.
It is. I think if you did it in the sense of you can pick as many as you want in that location, or even 3 in one location, I think it would be a lot easier. Because you can go into Sports Direct or wherever, or other sporting shops are available. You could pick your quite niche ones, your West Hams and your things like that, because you won't get them elsewhere. But it's really about selecting a team that you don't think you'll find elsewhere, because once you can't find that team again, you're like, well, I can't go back.
Yeah, especially in Liverpool. There's Liverpool everywhere. There's that. So I found, I don't want to ruin it. Well, I will, because people that watched it would have watched it. But I found, for example, the Liverpool one, there was a bus that's advertising the Netflix documentary.
Oh,
so
nice.
I went, that's a great place to find one, because then we can go to the other shops, and then I don't have to worry about ticking Liverpool in other places, other football teams. So I was like, there we go, that's clever. But it was good. I think I got 16 out of 20. But I was trying, mate, and I like those. And do you know what? I'm convinced as well. So one of the teams I didn't get was Burnley. And And it's shocking for me, really, because I had two options. Because I went and saw my mate Ollie in Preston, who is a Burnley fan, and I didn't tick off Burnley in that. And I'm convinced that I saw just a general person walking around Liverpool with a Burnley scarf on.
Oof.
And I didn't go back and look because I would have actually gone up to them and gone, "Excuse me, can I take a picture just to be?" But mate, honestly, it's it was so hard, like going round to it all. But getting 16 was a chat, and I was like, "There's no way I could have got the rest of them. Like, I couldn't find them anywhere."
No, I think, and it's the same with the musicals one. Like, is once I think you get on a roll with finding things, and you're like, oh no, like I know where that is. I know where I can find one of those. But when you get stuck, you start getting into like a rut of it and going, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do next for the one after this, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So yeah, it sounds like you did really, really well. So
and it was so good to be up in Liverpool because actually, I mean, this video comes out on Friday, but we are recording it on the 19th of May. So in exactly a month's time, we'll be going to Liverpool for my stag do. Come on!
You excited?
Mate, I'm buzzing. I'm actually so excited now. Like I was up there and I was sitting in the pub watching the Chelsea game and I was just seeing loads of stag parties like going in and out.
Yeah.
And I just went, I'm so ready for mine now. So ready. Yeah. And I think after having yours, it gives you that little taste of what's to come and you just go, oh, I'm so ready. And I know that you've got lots of plans up your sleeves because I spoke to Mr. Will Hillman today. Shout out, Will. And he told me, he's like, Toby's got a few plans. And I was like, oh, no. Of course he has. Of course he has.
Oh, yeah. There's one particular thing that I'm very excited for. Like, very excited for.
I just don't know what to expect. I literally don't know what to expect. But I know it will be done perfectly. But yeah, no, it's been we had a lovely day yesterday. Me and Hazel, we went for a little date day.
Nice.
Because even though we work with each other and we're at home with each other, sometimes you just don't do dates. It sounds silly when you're together for a long period of time. Sometimes you don't actually go, let's go and have a date day. You just go, let's go out and things like that. But we prioritise a date day. We went to the Pixar experience in London. And that is good. That is really, really good.
What was your favourite? Because I know they split them into like different rooms, don't they? So obviously you've got I think you've got like Inside Out, Cars, Toy Story. What was your favourite like room?
The Toy Story room is the one because you literally walk in like the size of a toy, and it's like Andy's bedroom, like the size of what it would be to like Woody and Buzz and things like that. Like the bed is huge, and it was like wow, like immersed into the experience. And do you know what? I'm not really I'm not saying like I'm not a big fan of this film, but like I do like it, but I'm not like a religious go back and watch it again and again and again. But the Coco room was great.
Was it good?
Really good. Nice. Like the ambience, the smells of the room, like the decoration, and that film is beautiful from a spectacle point of view. From like a visual point of view, that Coco film is amazing.
Yeah.
So going in was really, really nice. And again, like seeing Lightning McQueen was class. Like getting a photo with Lightning McQueen was, I mean, I love him. He's my favourite Disney character. But yeah, it was really good. And at the end of it though, not to like ruin anything for anyone, but the last room you go into is the Finding Nemo room. And obviously everyone knows the music to it. And it's obviously the ambience of the water and the fish and things like that. And you come out of it and you go, I'm exhausted. Just because it's so relaxing when you're in that.
It like takes you to full sense of like calm, and then you're like,
on Disney Plus. There's this 3-hour Finding Nemo visual that people put on their babies just to watch like Nemo and that swimming like for ages, and it's mate, so it was really good. And then we went to watch Kinky Boots.
Yes, David, one of David. Oh no, it was your favourite musical. It was the top. It was the top.
It was my favourite. And do you know what? Going to watch it was just... Do you know what? It just cemented... I haven't seen it since I left uni. So that was 2019. So getting on for about 7 years ago now. And I haven't watched it since then. And going back again just made me go, oh my God, that is literally my favourite musical. It was so fun. So good. So beautiful. And like when you watch it again, you actually sit there and go, actually, Kinky Boots is such a simple storyline. It's not overcomplicated. But it is powerful when it needs to be. And it's fun when it needs to be. And it's beautiful. And obviously the main cast is there's Johannes, obviously, who's playing Lola, and obviously Matt Cardle is playing Charlie.
Yeah.
And we had Matt Cardle, but Johannes obviously for some reason wasn't there, so we had the understudy. But my word, was the understudy brilliant!
Wow,
so good.
Sometimes they are like, I think that's they're slept on understudies. I think is a lot of people when you have a name in the main, like as your lead, a lot of times understudies are really undershone, but sometimes they give the best performances.
Yeah, I remember years ago going to watch Shrek.
Yeah.
And it was... who was Shrek? Who played Shrek? I can't remember who played Shrek. Not Shrek, Donkey.
It was Richard Blackwood? Is that his name?
Yeah, it might have been Richard Blackwood.
Yeah.
It might be Richard... I think it might be Richard Blackwood, but it was someone famous playing Donkey.
Yeah.
And we were listening to it, and I went, I think he sounds ill. Like, he doesn't sound like he's fully with it. Like, even with his songs, you could see, like, you could, as a performer, you can always sense and hear when something doesn't seem right. And I remember, like, he was good, but you could tell, I was like, he sounds, and then literally before the second act, he was like, blah, 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 has been replaced by blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then the understudy came out, and I was like, wow, this understudy's elite. Like, he was bouncing around, he was singing, like, top bill, and whether the main guy would have been that if he wasn't ill, maybe. But like as you say, like last night, it was nice to. Cause have you seen Kinky Boots?
I saw it. I've seen it a couple of times, but I haven't seen this new production of it. But yeah, I saw it on tour. I saw it in Liverpool, and then I think I've seen it another time other than that. But yeah, I think it's a great show.
Yeah, he sang it with a raspiness to Lola. It was very, very, very different to the way I've heard Lola. Every Lola I've ever watched was very clean with her vocals.
Yeah.
But this guy last night was very raspy. And when I first heard it, I was like, oh, no, not for me.
Yeah.
But then, like, the more that he did it and the more that he was putting variety into his voice and things, I went, actually, those moments are like, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
What's the best musical performance you've ever seen?
Oh, best musical performance. Ooh.
If you can't, if you don't know their name, then that's fine.
No, I think it's really difficult to say because being a musical theatre fan, like I've seen quite a lot, and I'm gonna have to say, I think I went to watch. I don't know if you remember a musical in the West End called & Juliet. It was
yes, I do know Angela. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
There was a performer called Grace Mower in it, and I think I went to watch. I didn't realise it was her final show, but I went to watch it, and she was performing, and it was her final time, and she literally gave it absolutely everything, and I sat there and went, "Wow, that's insane," and I think. When performers, you can tell when performers like, I'm just going to go and give it everything. Like I know they give it everything every night, but you know when they're giving that extra special something.
Yeah.
Because you can just tell. What about you? Have you got someone that you literally remember?
I just think, I don't know his name, but I remember going, I don't know the actor's name, no idea. But I remember going to watch... Les Mis for the first time, and the person who played Jean Valjean, I've never heard a room so quiet around someone singing, and it was just beautiful. Like when he was singing "Bring Him Home," I just remember watching it, going, "Wow!" Like that's how you. And as for people that probably people that actually watch this podcast, a lot of them probably are from entertainment backgrounds because that's how they know us from. But you know when you're doing like those trainings when you go to drama school and things like that, and you get up and you have to sing a song in front of your class and things like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time you go, oh, it's nerve-wracking doing it in front of people you know. But it's those moments where you get the whole room like going, they're on you.
Yeah.
And grasping an audience in. I've never seen someone do it like that. In terms of how he just controlled his vocals so beautifully. And And it was different because sometimes you hear these big, powerful notes, but he just
Yeah.
under glisten them, and it was like,
Yeah.
wow. Like actually, sometimes you don't actually need to belt out these big notes for people to be like, wow. You can just flatline them,
Yeah.
and just the audience are in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it like, and that's I think where people get it is like you can soften what you need to, and people will just get hooked on what you're singing. And once you have people hooked, like the show's going to be class, like so good. But
What was the moment for you that that obviously you made you want to? Let's start from the beginning. We've got into this now. Let's go from the beginning. How did Toby Scott want to be a performer? Like, what was the moment? There's always a moment. Like, not even just like do it as a career, but like what made you sing or act for the first time ever?
I think I went to watch my first musical, which was Shrek at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane in London, and I was to be fair, I watched it and I was like, the production value, the singing and everything about it, and I was like, this is cool. Like, this is doing that is cool. Like, so I think at that point I obviously went back home. I knew there were a couple of drama groups around the area where I live, so I was like, I'm going to give it a go. And then that's when it all started going. And my sister used to go to dance schools when she was younger, so she would go to dance schools, and then I'd just pot her along while she was getting dropped off and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I knew that they do like musical theatre classes where you do singing and stuff, and I was like, well, I'll give it a go. And then that's when it started to go, this is something I want to look at. Where can I step from here? Where can I go from here? So that's the way it really started for me. It was seeing Shrek.
Did you know you could sing like when you were younger? Do you know what I mean?
I think I always liked to sing. I always, I wouldn't say I thought I could sing, but I always liked to do it.
That's a good question. Could you sing though? Because I don't be humble, because you can sing. You're a brilliant singer. So you could sing that. You could sing now, Toes. But like, even I admit, I don't think I had to train myself to sing.
And I think that's where it is. I think, in my opinion, I think everybody can. In some form or another, everyone can sing in a way. Just, I think people need, if people want to sing like not just professionally, if they want to do bits, some people just need the guidance on how to. So, like, I always thought, like, I could hold a tune, but you've hit the nail on the head with the whole, you just needed somebody to come in and go, either this is the song for you, or this is how you need to do this to better improve you. And yeah, so what for you? What was that point, and what was the point where you went, I want to do this? Was it a show, or was it a?
I didn't really get into it till very late. I think I've told you this before, but like for the pod, I mean, I always grew up in a weird way, not really knowing what I was. I never really got told I was, and this is not me sob storying, because I'm not a sob story kind of guy, but like I was never told I was good at anything, and that's not me being like I was rubbish at everything, because I could write a story in English, I could kick a football quite reasonably well, but I was never told like you are great at something. And my sister just went to me one day and she said, I've seen something in the paper, it's for this Lion King like audition, for like a little summer school thing. And I went, oh, I'll give it a go, why not? Went along, got the role of Scar, and just enjoyed it and just had a good time going in. And if I'm being honest, part of what really got me into it was, and you'll know this for being in theatre, like even doing like now what you're doing with Bros and things like that, you go, it's the camaraderie of the people that are entertainers. They're all like 95% of people that do it are fun people that are lively and not really in their shell. Do you know what I mean? And I just enjoyed going along, having a laugh, and being with different type of people. Because I went to an all boys school as well, so I was just surrounded by lads all the time, and
Yeah.
it was dog eat dog when you went to an all boy. You went to an all boys school. It was dog eat dog, and that so going into, and this is not a High School Musical thing by any stretch of the imagination, but going into drama when you went to an all boys school was very different, and going into like that as well, because I used to play football as well, so everyone always knew me as the guy who played. This sounds so High School Musical, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
But it was. I used to play football, and like so when I was like saying to my mates when I would like when I used to train with like teams like Ashington and things like that,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, why are you not coming to train this week?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I've got to go and do a High School." Funny enough, it was High School Musical, the show I did at Showdown, and they were like, "Well, why are you going to go and do that? Go and play football." And I was like, "Yeah, I do want to go and play football, but I want to do this as well." And it was like it was that strange like change. But the camaraderie was that, and I remember. But going back to the Lion King, when I did the Lion King show, I played Scar and did the show, and afterwards, I just had people just come up to me going, "You were brilliant. You were so good. You played the role so well." And I always remember my brother Peter, when we were all there and like my family all just like, "Well done, David," blah blah blah. And then this random family just came up and went, "You were brilliant." And I always remember my brother turned around and went, "Yeah, he's my brother," but said it with like a lot of pride.
Yeah.
And it was like that moment of going, that's the first time in my life that I've ever felt like I've done something and it was, that was brilliant, David.
Yeah.
Not like, yeah, nice stuff, Dave. That was it. And so when you get a confidence like that, you just keep going and going and going. And the more I did it, the more I realised I loved it. Did I at that point know that I wanted to do it as a career? Absolutely not. I still wanted to go and work in a leisure centre. And yeah, but it and also like and you all know this as well. The more that you do, and the higher you train, and the more you do, the worse you actually. I know. Actually, how am I going to word it? It's weird because the higher you get, the worse you feel in a weird way, because you almost become a big fish in a small pond when you go to one theatre school. Then you move up, and all of a sudden you're not. And then you go to like drama school, and then you're not. And then you go to the real world, and then you're not. And it's that weird thing of going, just keep building on who you are and what your ability is. I don't know whether you found that as well going to university.
Yeah, I think it was very much like, I think the hard work you put in gets you far, I think, with things. And that's where, like, I've never had this and come across this at all, because I've been very lucky, and people that I've come across have been fairly all right. But I don't think it's where people come in knowing they're good and going like, okay, so I'm going to do this and I'm going to get this and I'm going to be there. But that doesn't get them anywhere, because people like, whoever looks at them and goes, actually, that is not what is needed in because, like you said, camaraderie, and we need to work together to create this and such. But like, I think definitely as you get up there, like, you get to one stage of like being in, for example, like college, and being like, actually, I've done quite well here, and then you go off to university, and it's like, well, I'm just gonna completely wipe the slate clean, and I have to start over again and build up myself in a different scenario. Which, but I was quite lucky at uni, because everyone that there was great support from mates and lecturers and things like that. With everyone was there. Most people were away from where they lived, so everyone was kind of in the same boat, and everyone knew that. So. Yeah, it was
a weird one, like, because obviously, like, when going to drama school was a massive thing for me, and like, funny enough, I've been one of my friends has asked me to go and talk in a school because she works in like a I think it's year 12 or something like that, so like they're just going into college and things like that. And she's like, "Can you come and talk about your journey?" And you go, I'm literally a nobody, but like, she goes, "No, but you've done it all," and that kind of thing. And I think that what I always say as well is, when you're like going into your journey and doing your life and things, like, especially like from training perspective, like what we've both been through, is you've got to pick what's tailored to you, and
Yeah.
sometimes like the big names like cloud a little bit, and like
Yeah.
everyone like sits there and goes, unless you go to RADA, Central, all these kind of places, like the big dogs like
Yeah.
Guildhall and Mountain View and all these things. And it's the ones that we always do it. We're all criminal of it. We always look in the back of the program,
Yeah.
and then it's that Erdang, RADA, Central, and that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean that school's tailored to you. Like, you've got to go to
No.
the place that is tailored to you, because you're spending 3 years of your life at that place. And I mean, going back to like the stag that we went on, like we went to Preston where you went to
Yeah.
university. I mean, was that a big decision for you to make, to go to there?
I think because I looked around quite a few places, and I think for me, it was a lot of like looking at what it gave me in terms of like, I sat down and I looked at different places, and you know, some of the places were like, it's this and this very strict type of regime, and like at the end of it you will be this, and it wasn't very much like you will be Toby in that will go, you'll be this, and you'll go out inside, you'll be what we mold you. But
Yes.
for example, like when I went to look at the uni I went to in Preston, it was very much like, we give you the skill sets by third year to go, where would you like to go? We give you, because the course I did wasn't musical theatre, it was music theatre. So there was a lot of creation and things behind it. It was a lot of a lot of the courses are where when you put on productions, you do lots of the things in the background and things like that. But a lot of the skills they give you is to think about what works with different things, and how you can make a piece out of nothing. And I think their whole thing, and you could definitely see, because I remember distinctly, and if anyone that was from my uni is listening or watching this, they will know exactly the lecture I'm on about. When we sat down, and basically a lecturer went, I know you will want to train in musical theatre, and that's what you want to do, otherwise you wouldn't be here. However, have you got a backup?
Yeah.
And I think that's the harsh reality of it, is people can always do what they want. Like, if you want to do something, go and do it. Like, work hard to do it, because it's going to be hard work.
Yeah.
Like, you'll have things thrown at you left, right and centre. You'll have pandemics, whatever.
I know, yeah, we had to get through a pandemic. Like, what
Honestly.
the hell?
So, like, you'll have things thrown at you, but there's always this is one thing. A piece of advice from one nobody on a podcast is always have a backup plan.
You're not a nobody, Tobes. You're not a nobody.
Always have a backup plan, because some things could go wrong, and then you need a quick job, or you need something quick, and people will look and be like, well, they've done this. So, for example, a pandemic. Went into lockdown, came out of lockdown, pub job, and then I was like, right, into ends. So it's like very much, and I think that's where kind of it benefited. The pandemic was not, it definitely wasn't a positive, and that's not what I'm saying.
I know what you mean.
I think it built a lot of resilience for a lot of people, in terms of like, people had to wait for jobs to come back, and I think people worked really hard to get those.
Did you nearly give up during COVID? Did you nearly give up? Like,
no,
going
I
into
think
performing?
no.
I nearly did.
I think my head was very much like, when everything opens back up again, I want to get into Ents, because I had contract offered to me prior, I knew as soon as everything opened up again, I was straight on the emails and phone calls to those places. But it was quite difficult because I think once you settle and get comfortable, it's like, well, I'm all right now. Like, you know, I was working in a pub and it was all right. It was okay, but then it's that whole feeling of, like you said it at the start, like having that feeling that you're not doing what you want, but once you get that feeling of I'm doing what I love and not gonna lie, I'm getting paid to do it, then you are onto a winner. Like, I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I found COVID was a real one, like, because it came out and it was all going wrong, and I went and worked in a school, and like and again, like, I was just, but I hadn't done anything yet in the industry. I'd done a panto. That's all I'd done. I'd done a panto, and then I was just about to go on fun enough P&O as a vocalist.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even got out the rehearsal studio yet before I'd done that. And then, so I had such a bit in my teeth, and I'm very fatey, and my brain's very, like, I've said this to you before, like, I always go, I'm an emotional person in terms of, like, how all the feelings in the room and that kind of thing. And part of me was like, is this just the universe telling me, like, just go and just leave it, like, leave that world? And I remember, like, when Butlins came along, that was such a big thing for me because I'd never even, like, considered doing Butlins or anything like that. Like, it was, that world was like, no, I'm like, and rightfully, wrongly, I was like, no, I'm training musical theatre. I'm not going to go and do Butlins and welcome people into a venue. But however, did I know that job was exactly me and exactly what I needed to progress further in life and things like that. But yeah, COVID was tough, and I think there's a lot of people that gave in, and I think you speak to a lot of people, they went, best thing I ever did was giving it in, and I needed it, and it was the pandemic that showed me that I needed to give it up. And then there was part of people that went, oh, I should never have given it up and things like that. But yeah, it's a tough one. But like, I found it really scary, like when you came out of university and then you're auditioning and going into audition rooms and things like that, because it's such a different world, isn't it, mate? So different. Like to go from practicing auditions in front of your mates and the same 5 teachers that you have every day of the week, to walking into a room where, like, you're literally in front of people that you go, they're not looking at just they're looking at talent that they're going to pay for, like, not just talent that they're just going to take a chance on in an amateur school show. Like, this is like, we need to have the right person, because the right person gives us the reviews that move us forward as a company, and that's mental. That's pressure.
Yeah, lots of pressure. Like, it's just, and you know what? I think doing Butlins was, I could say, like, exactly the same thing. It was because it is a big company. There's lots, when they turn around and go, yeah, we want you to come work for us, it's a big thing. And you do feel a bit of, like, wow, like, one of, if not the biggest UK holiday company has said they want me. And that's crazy to think that, you know, a select few people have always been selected, like, because it's 38 over 3 resorts, and every year they select different people because whatever. But
what were you like in auditions? Did you? I mean, no one likes auditions, but
no.
What were you like with them?
I always thought that I was when you first go in, I don't sort of, I'm not a quiet person, but I sit back and just observe to begin with, because just to gauge everybody and, like, the room and stuff, not in a bad way, but like, because once I find, you know, because you could find a group of people in there that you get on really well with, or sometimes you know people of people and things like that, and it's just sitting back and then people having conversations, and you can pip in and go like, oh, you know, I know that person, or I've heard you did this, and you're from there, or whatever, and then once you're there, it helps settle your nerves. So I always sit back initially, and then try and open up conversations just to help settle the nerves, because I know that's what I've done a lot of times. And if people come to talk to me, I'll never be like, no, I'm concentrating. It's always being open and honest, because I think with auditions, is my thought process has always been like, people are always watching, like, and that's not putting pressure on people. Like if you are listening and you've got auditions and things like that, and I always think people will always watch from the outside as well and go, if you're sat there, sometimes people could look at it and they'll look at you as a whole person and how your whole day has been. And it's not just when you're in that room, it's when you're entering the room and registering and things like that. Like, they all speak to each other. That's what I've always thought anyway.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing, is like, I've always been taught as well, like, as soon as you enter the room or the building of the audition, that's when it potentially starts, because from the person who says hello to you at the door to the person signing you in, they will all have a conversation and potentially be like, oh, how were they when they entered? Were they quiet? Did they stick themselves in a corner? Did they do what? Did they speak to other people? So I've always gone in and gone like, I will talk to everybody, because it's great to talk to people, because you get to know new people and things like that. But it's always important to be yourself.
And do you know what? I actually agree with you on that, because and I think that goes hand in hand with what I'm about to say as well. Is audition for the things that you're good at, like and I think there's a lot of people that go out into the world and because you're so hungry and so with agents and things like that, you just go, I want to audition for everything. I don't care what it is, I want to audition. And sometimes I remember being in auditions where I was like, I'm auditioning, I don't even want this job. I literally don't even want this job. And also I'm auditioning for something that is literally not me. I remember being in audition rooms and just hating being in that room and things like that. But there were like things like, when I look into it, like the Butlins audition, Disney audition for me, the Arsenal audition, like that was me, like being me. I love Disney, I love football, I love presenting and hosting and being myself. So in those auditions, I thrived, because I wasn't trying. So when I was going into auditions for, I don't know, Shakespeare or whatever, I was trying to be a Shakespeare character, and that is not me. Like, I'm not going to stand on stage and recite poetry from Romeo and Juliet, because that is just that's not me. So I was like a fish out of water in those auditions, so no wonder I hated them. But when I was going in for auditions like Disney, I mean, that was just me all over. Like auditions for like Arsenal, chat about football all day, easy.
Absolutely.
Not even auditioning and things like that. And like the Butlins audition, obviously, like, I'm not going to reveal what we do in the Butlins audition, because I know there's people who watch this podcast that want to go on to be Redcoats, and that audition is beautiful in its own way for you to go in and do it just like we did. But it was fun. And I think those auditions, that where you go, when you're going into audition and you're literally just having a laugh and having fun, obviously there's pressure with it, because you are auditioning for that job and you want that job, so you know you've got to be the best you can be. But audition for what you're good at. Like, don't audition for something just because it's a job. Like, and I know that as actors and performers, it's like you need every gig you can get. But if you're going into an audition for something that you go, I don't even want the job, don't even walk in the audition room. Don't even walk in that room, because if you don't want the job, as much as they'll sit there and go, he's not right for the job, it's also like fair on you to go, I'm not going to put myself in that position and spend all this money to travel to the audition to do something I don't want to do. Like, why? Why? Do you know what I mean? And I always remember my first ever audition was for Disney, the parks, and I remember being in the audition room, and the more it went through, and obviously I didn't go and work for the parks for because I got the panto job. So I took that because Disney used to do this thing where they would put you on books, and when they needed you, they'd call. But as
Yeah.
actors, you needed to just get gigs and things like that. So I would rather have taken a stable gig and a known
Yeah.
gig that was coming rather than waiting
Hmm.
at that time. Um, but I remember that Disney audition, and the more I went through, the most fun I had, and that was my first audition. So I think the more that afterwards, and I didn't do the panto, and I did the panto, when I was going for auditions for other little things and bits and bobs, I remember going, this wasn't as fun as my Disney audition. And in your head, you just went, yeah, but that's because it's Disney. But it actually wasn't.
Yeah.
It's because the job, I wasn't hungry for the job. Like if they rang up and went, you can have this job, I wouldn't have been punching the air. Whereas when
Yeah.
Butlins rang up and said I got the job, when Arsenal rang up and said I got the job, when Disney rang up and said I got the job, when the Animal guy said you've got the job, it was sheer celebration because I wanted those gigs.
Yeah, and exactly. And I think the thing is, and I think when you do auditions and when you do these things, if you're having fun, and because if you know you want to be there and you want the job and you're having fun at the audition, because you're like, I want this, but I'm not stressed about wanting it because for me this is going to be a really fun job, so I'm going to show that in my audition. They'll notice, like people will notice, and they'll be like, well, this person is great, like they clearly want to be here. They want to work for us, and that's something companies would love.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you've hit the nail on the head with like, if you want it, go and have fun with it. Like, go and enjoy it. And people talk like I spoke about earlier about sometimes auditions stressful and all that. But if you go in and be like, I want this, I'm gonna have fun doing it. At the end of the day, I always thought, it just sounds really bad, sometimes it's just a really nice day out.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like I remember doing a Haven one, and I had to travel to London for it. I went to London and then had a day out afterwards, and I was like, it's just a really nice day out as well. Like, I've auditioned for a job with a company. I think it went really well. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna meet up with some mates in London. I'm gonna have a really nice time, and I think that's that. You've got to, if you're nervous about it, like there's different things that you can do to help with that. But I think that's down to you as a person about what helps you with the nerves and stuff. But definitely like having fun with the auditions, because I know I've had loads of fun in some of the ones I've done. And
Do you know one thing I would never want to do again is open auditions. I went along to the Dear Evan Hansen audition, and before people would say there's no character I'd ever get cast in Dear Evan Hansen, like there isn't. I'm not. That's not my casting.
Yeah.
But like they announced they were doing an open audition, and I was like, oh well, I'll go along for it. Get my name out there. Why not?
Yeah.
And I remember, and I was there for hours and hours and hours. We queued up. And we got there literally like about 6 a.m. People were literally already there. We were there for about 5.5 hours before we even got into the building of Pineapple. And then when you get in there, there's a whole process of signing up and forms and blah. I think it was a whole 7 hours before I even got seen. And there were people right at the back that probably waited even longer. And I remember doing that, and I went, do you know what? I understand why people do them, and fair play to people that do those on a regular basis. But never again.
No, sometimes I see like the lines on social media of when people put out, this is the open auditions, and I'm like, credit where credit is due to those people who are first in that line, because they have been there early doors. So credit where credit's due to those people. But yeah,
I remember speaking to someone at the Dear and Hansen who was at the front.
Yeah.
And they were like, they came down the line and like they were chatting to a few people, I think in the queue, in the bit before they knew the person.
Yeah.
And they were right at the front, and like they were talking. And in our group, we went, oh, what time did you get here this morning? He was like, got here at 12:45 a.m. He was like, yeah, got here at 12:45 a.m. And he said, and literally there were people ahead of him as well. I'm like, that is ridiculous. For a 9 a.m. call.
That's crazy.
Ridiculous. I was like, I just don't have that. not drive, but I just can't do that. Stand outside in the freezing cold for hours on end.
Yeah.
To just walk in, sing 30 seconds and walk out. I'm like, no.
Honestly. Oh dear.
But anyway, I think that was nice to talk about that. Actually, it was nice to,
really nice.
and I think for people watching, it's helpful for people to hear different sides of industry.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to talk about before we go is actually today, because it comes out on Friday. Thomas Tuchel has announced his England squad for the World Cup. Obviously, when this podcast comes out and when people listen to it, it's probably already out. So this subject might not mean anything to us. But this is maybe a prediction, a foreseeable prediction, Toby.
Okay.
Do you think there's a big name that is going to miss out? And if so, who is that big name going to be?
See, I think Trent's not going to go. Trent Alexander-Arnold. But I now, under Tuchel, I wouldn't say he was a shoo-in anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if Trent doesn't go. I don't think he will. I don't think he probably was in contention, because you're going to love hearing me say this, but you've got like Reece James at the minute, who's doing quite well.
Yeah.
Can't win anything, but he's doing all right.
Oh, here we go.
We need to talk about something else after this.
Yes.
We do. And then I reckon your middle two are going to be, your middle two central midfielders are going to be Elliot Anderson and Declan Rice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether he's going to take Bellingham. I'm not too sure.
Really?
I don't. I just.
He hasn't been keen on Bellingham before.
No, he hasn't been keen. You look at Morgan Rogers and you go, can you put Morgan Rogers there? Can you put someone like Palmer in there? Could you put someone like, I don't know. I don't think he takes Phil Foden either.
See, that's my one. I don't think Phil Foden's going to go. And do you know what? I wouldn't take Phil Foden, because I think he's a one-position player. We saw that in the last Euros when he was put on the left wing. He was completely out of his depth. He didn't know what to do. And that was under Southgate. But like, I just think Rodgers, Bellingham, Palmer, Eze, I think they all offer a little bit more than Phil Foden does for England. So I think my big prediction is I don't think Phil Foden makes the play.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's a shout. I don't think he will. Go on then. Your England starting 11.
My England starting 11 is Pickford in goal. Reece James at right back. I would go Concert and Guehi at centre backs. I think they've got a good partnership. I think Maguire and Stones, I would take both of them, but I'd leave them as your standbys and your experience in the squad. But I think Concert and Guehi have got a good little partnership. And sometimes, we've done this before with England, we shoehorn names in for name's sake. Let's just go with what's stable. Left back, I've always said Lewis Hall, but I think I would go probably Nico O'Reilly at the moment.
Yeah.
See, I again, if you'd asked me this prior to 4 weeks ago, I probably would have said Anderson and Rice. But I think Mainoo's too good. I think Mainoo is class. I think let's be real here. Kobbie Mainoo, I don't know what Amram was doing, but didn't play him. But for me, Mainoo is the best out of Wharton, Anderson, and all those. I think Mainoo is just so good. So I would go Mainoo, Rice, but I think he will go Anderson and Rice, and I'm not against that. In the 10, I would go with Bellingham. On the left, I would go with Gordon. On the right, I would go with Saka, and obviously up front, Harry Kane.
Yeah, I think this year is a very mismatched one, because I don't think this may be a little bit of a contradictory one, and people may be like, "What you want about?" I don't think there is anybody in that team that is screaming, apart from Harry Kane, that is screaming like, you can win us the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is not a player that is going like they've all had majority of them have phenomenal seasons, but there is not a player that I would confidently turn around apart from Harry Kane and gone, wow. But then if
I look at that
in,
France team and you've got Mbappe, Elise, and Dembele. I mean,
yeah,
just out of its own, mate.
It'll be a very interesting one. I would probably swap. I pretty much agree with what you were saying. I would swap. I would put in Maguire as my start, probably, and take out Conte. Yeah, I'd probably put in Rodgers over Bellingham.
Okay.
Potentially. I would take, and here's my
Come on.
And I know someone is going to be absolutely jumping for joy when they hear me say this.
I think I know what you're going to say.
I would take James Garner.
I knew you'd say that. I'm not against Garner going.
I think for Everton this season, he's done really well. Really, really well. I also think that when we had the last international friendlies, he showed up.
Brilliant.
He was class. Like, he was so good. And if Tuchel doesn't look at that and go, that's someone I want, maybe I don't use, but I want just in case, I'm going to take him. So I think you potentially have, I think it will start Anderson and Rice, but then you have your Mainu and your Garner as sort of your backups for that position, I think. Whether he'll take more than that.
I think Henderson's destined for that plan.
Yeah.
Rightly or wrongly, I think Henderson will be there.
Yeah. I think it'll be a very interesting one. And I think a reactions video following some point maybe next week would be a very interesting one. I
think we should do that. We could even we'll do a reaction video to the World Cup squad. We can get a couple of guests on. Let's do it.
And I think what we'll do is we'll reach out to some people, or if anyone has any thoughts on it on Friday, let us know. But we'll reach out to some people. We'll get them to send videos of their takes of it, who they think missed out and should have gone. But we'll reach out to those people and we'll get them on. I think that might be good.
Yeah, that's good. Cool. Anyway, you said you wanted to ask me something. What was it?
Yes.
Let's finish with this.
Chelsea manager.
Oh, yes.
Has been announced.
Delighted,
David,
mate.
Your thoughts?
Delighted, mate. I think he's...
Yeah.
Do you know what? If he's allowed to do what he needs to do, it's a great appointment. If he comes in and he's just told he has to coach the team, then it is literally like putting Max Verstappen in a Skoda and expecting him to go and win the F1. But that's the reality. Yeah. That's the reality, isn't it? That's the reality. Like, he needs to come in charge of the team, in charge of the lineups, in charge of the transfers, in charge of the coaching, in charge of the medic. That is it. Manager, not a head coach, a manager, which I think is his title, because the last 3 we've brought in have all been head coaches, whereas this one, I think, is only agreed to take the job on a manager state. And I know we did that. I did that video with Tom a while ago where we were ranking the Chelsea ones. And I put him in the C category. But realistically, I think that's the best appointment that we could realistically get. Because when I looked at the A's and the B's of what we had, we were never going to get them.
Yeah.
But I think he's the best manager that we could possibly get right now. Yeah. And I'm delighted about it.
Yeah, I think that's a very good appointment. And like you said, I think as long as he's allowed to do what he needs to do to make that Chelsea team better, I think who you've already got there, he can work with really well.
Liverpool fans, they're fuming. They are fuming.
Yeah. Honestly, the way they're going at the minute.
Like, we were up at Liverpool the weekend, obviously, and we went to Runcorn for the theatre. And the bloke on the door was he was Everton. Funny enough, he was an Everton fan, and he was chatting away, and he was like, "I've got mates who are Liverpool, like in my because they're so. I mean, that city is football. But I remember chatting to him, and he was like going, "Yeah, I've got Liverpool mates in the DMs," and he's like, "They are fuming that Liverpool have allowed Xabi Alonso to go to Chelsea. Like, they were like, look, I think some of them were a bit 50-50 on Slot, but if they knew that Xabi Alonso was going to go to Chelsea, I think all of them would have been like, get Slot out, get Xabi in. And the fact that he's taken a job at Chelsea is mental. So it's another lovely little bit of news. But no, I'm delighted. I mean, again, it's like, as I said, if we're just going to get him in as a head coach, then put Lewis Hamilton in a Corsa and expect him to win the F1. It's never going to happen. But let's hope that's all good. Anyway, I think we should leave that podcast there. It's been a lovely little podcast, and especially for I think a lot of people that are listening. Actually, I mean, I know a few people that definitely listen on a weekly basis, and they want to be red coats, want to do performing as a career. So hopefully that's a little bit of inspiration.
There you go. Lovely.
And go and watch Mate on the Move.
I will. Do you know what? I'm going to get on it. I will finish this podcast. I will put Mates on the Move on, get a cup of tea, and we'll be sorted. And I will message you when I have done. What's next.
Next time you actually see us on the podcast, I will be floating.
Yes. Are you taking your laptop with you? I'm not dealing with this more phone malarkey. Like, if I have to deal with your random 2 dots you've got on your phone and a message afterwards saying you're not talking or this. So, just want clarification. Are we getting the laptop or are we trying the phone again?
The laptop is coming with us, so it will be a laptop podcast. No.
You all heard that. It's going to be a laptop. We'll all be fine. It'll be okay.
Trust me, I'm never recording. If there's a chat, because actually, funny enough, I mean, we need to go, but like, funny enough, it's Hazel's laptop. But so whenever she goes away, she takes it with her. So I'm getting to the point now where I'm going to go, right, Toby, if Hazel is going away, we will not podcast that week. But it's been an absolute pleasure, Toby. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit subscribe down below. Give us a follow. Congratulations, actually, before we go. 100 downloads on Spotify!
Yes! Come on!
And I think we are just ticking over. I think, actually, because I think the Mates on the Move video has done quite well, I think we're literally just about to hit 1,000 views on YouTube, which is mental. So,
that's crazy.
Well done, Tobes, for all the hard work you put into this podcast.
Oh, no, you too.
And it's exciting to see where it's going to go and the summer we've got. And I know you've got a lot of time off in the summer that you're going to get into things as well. So there is lots to come up. Actually, I say that you're going to do it. You're getting married. You won't.
Haven't I got enough to do?
Mates on the Move. Come to a wedding fair with me.
There we go.
There we go. You got it, mate. Right. Well, we'll see you on the next podcast, everybody. Take it easy. Hit that subscribe button. And that's 2 Mates and a Mic out.
Bye.